Boom, shakalaka boom. You've tuned in to the free range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live on 103.9 FM, WYAB, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. Hey, Alexa, play the Clay Edwards Show. That ought to get it going for you this morning. Also, if you dare to join the live chat with the thousands and thousands of the fellow anger addicts out there early in the morning, sipping on their coffee, their energy drink, or whatever else I'm not judging this morning, watching us in stunning HD on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. Just search at SaveJXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. It should pop up. None of the pages are called Save Jackson anymore, but the ats are still Save Jackson. Everything's Clay Edwards in the name, but the physical address is like Facebook.com/Save Jackson, Instagram.com/Save Jackson. You get the point. YouTube.com/Save Jackson, but I just changed my name on all of those to my name. I know. Make it as difficult as possible, why don't you, Clay? You know, I mean, honestly, I would abandon the whole Save Jackson stuff, but it's worth a lot. And I don't want to give it up and somebody benefit from my hard work. So we will keep that. And also I know that it makes people mad. Like, there's people who just hate that I have that and that I was the one to be able to grab it. Not them, while they were all trying to figure out other things to say about Jackson, to make the little shirts and stickers and this, that, and the other. Run Jackson, all these other things. And here I came in like an owl stealing a cat. Whoosh. Isn't it like owls that steal cats and take them back up to their nest or something like that? Anyway, I digress. My early digress this morning. How many times in the show do we say that? I digress. All right, guys, hit the share button if you're watching online. To borrow a line from Andy Frisella and his Hard AF podcast, don't be a share the show. He says there's a toll to pay, and that is that you share the show. I think that is very, very important as we face more censorship from big tech. Every time I think we're on the right path and they've loosened up and they've done what they said they're going to do and let us have a little bit more free-range conversation. Oh, no. But see, you broke the rules before we changed the rules. So now that we've come back and changed the rules, we're going back and retro giving you strikes from 2 years ago. Yeah, Clay. You can post pictures of guns and ammo now. But see, what you did was you posted it 2 years ago when you weren't supposed to. And it slipped through the cracks. And even though it's deleted now, we're still going to punish you for it. That's right. But you could post that same picture right now, and you'd be A-OK. Make it make sense. You can't, and that's the problem. You can't, and that's the problem. You can't make it make sense. The Mazda Jackson phone line this morning, 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. Man, I had a very uneventful weekend myself. Everybody at the house has been sick for the most part. Sinus infection of some sort going through the house. I haven't been robbed of all my energy, thankfully. But, man, it's just that crud in your chest and in your head. I tried to introduce the girlfriend to the neti pot last night. Showed her how to use it and everything. She was not having any of it. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't blow her nose. Couldn't do anything. Just suffering. But would not try the neti pot. Man, I hit the neti pot yesterday like a crack pipe. Hit it again this morning. It's amazing what something that simple, that little, can do for sinuses. I mean, don't get me wrong, Claritin D, Allegra D, as long as it's got the D in it, makes all the difference too. But a neti, just an old school neti pot, something I'm assuming has been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years, but it goes back to our ancestors. It's still usable today. A little saline solution in it, a little water, a little lukewarm water, and it will cut through whatever sinus issues you got going on. I mean, it's wild to me how well that little concoction works. Now, don't make the mistake. Don't make the mistake of swallowing in the process, because you will swallow a lot of phlegm and salt water, so to say. Nasty. Nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. All right, so on today's show, well, first, don't forget the new show, Heavy Hitters, the Outlaw Entrepreneur Show. Episode 2 is today from 9 to 10 p.m. right here in these very studios. We're going to have the young men with Weather Roof. That's right, man. These two young entrepreneurs have absolutely been killing it, man. They're both in their early 20s, doing great. One of them just bought a brand new Porsche, like a sales motivation kind of thing. I dig it, man. You set a goal, you achieve a goal, and you do that. Everybody does this for different reasons. Some people it's cars. Me and Michael Wimberly talked about it the other day. So what is your goal? Like, be able to have nice things, be able to provide for my family. But your goals adjust as your income adjusts. You know, it eventually moves past, I just want a roof over my head and a dependable vehicle. And once you get to another level, it's like, well, I want a boat. I want a Porsche. I want whatever it is. I mean, mine was a Raptor. Not a regular F-150, a Raptor. You know, you adjust. I put in a lot of work into this stuff. But anyway, we'll talk about all that more. Those guys was the Walker Pearson and Corbin Allen. They own Weather Roof. It's a local roofing company. And I've been following these guys online for a little bit and been really impressed by their journey, their hard work, their ability to sell roofs. That's hard, man. If you can go door to door, and sell roofs, you can sell anything. I had a sales manager when I first got in the car business, Brandon Parker, good dude, man. Still talk to Brandon to this day. He was the general sales manager at Great Daniels Ford in January of 2011. And Brandon used to sell Rainbow vacuum cleaners. It was how he got into sales. And I just always respected that this dude went from selling vacuum cleaners. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, I wouldn't be rude to a vacuum cleaner. I'm not going to be rude to any salesman that comes to my house because I understand that that's hard work. But, bro, the odds of you selling me anything at my front door that I didn't already pay for and have delivered there, well, and I'm not buying it from you. You know, you better give me my stuff. Anyhow, it's slim to none. You ain't putting Clay Edwards together on a vacuum cleaner, on a roof, on none of that. But I just always respected that guy. I mean, he went from selling vacuums to selling cars to, at the time, being one of, if not the youngest GSM at a major store. So I'm not surprised that these guys are successful at Weather Roof because at a young age, because they got that tenacity, they got what it takes to go knock on those doors and look people straight in the eye and sell them and overcome the objections on a big expense like that. I can't wait to hear what they got to say because I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to say I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go knock on doors and have to deal with people like that. But when you got to feed your family, when you got a young kid at the house like they do, I don't know Corbin, but I know Walker just enough. You know, when you got to do something, it's amazing what you can do. So we're going to hear their story. That should be interesting. I love talking sales. I could turn this whole show into that. I'm not going to do that. I know that's not what you're tuned in for this morning. But from 9 to 10, that's my baby. That's Heavy Hitters with Clay Edwards, the Outlaw Entrepreneur Show. Really excited about it. Episode 1 last week did really well with Michael Wimberly, owner of McBee's. And we're going to keep it rolling on down the track. I got about 7 or 8 guests booked ahead of time. And if you haven't heard from me and you think you should have heard from me, stay tuned. You probably will hear from me. When we come back, we're going to jump into a phrase that has been, in no particular order here, a phrase that has been thrown around a lot over the last weekend that I have really wrapped my arms around, because I think it describes what we're dealing with in central Mississippi with way more than racism, way more than racist, any of that stuff. It's a phrase called black fatigue that's been bandied around a good bit. We're going to discuss black fatigue. What is black fatigue? Because, the other day I asked the question when this whole Shiloh Hendrix thing was going around. And everybody's like, oh, this is the pinnacle of racism in America. People are sending this lady money that said the N-word. And I said, well, again, whether you agree with it, disagree with it or not, black people are to blame for that. That's like, y'all are why. It's y'all's actions and y'all's behavior and y'all's racism that is why people have had enough. And it's why they're sending money to this girl as an FU directly to y'all. Not because they agree with what she said, but it's like you showed people that you've been bashing and trashing and trying to cancel and do everything else, trying to ruin their lives, trying to control. You showed them what your weakness was. You never show people what your weakness is. Never show your enemy what your weakness is. You showed your enemy what your weakness was. And it was losing the power of that N-word. And it happened like that, at the snap of a finger. And you have nobody to blame but yourselves. I think it was Dave Chappelle or Cat Williams that talked about the OJ trials. Like, black folks, we celebrated too openly about OJ. Well, fast forward, and that's what's happening with the Carmelo Anthony thing. Y'all celebrated just a little too loudly with that GoFundMe, and it upset a lot of people. That give, send, go, whatever. GoFundMe is omnipresent for online fundraising, regardless of which service you use. I understand there's a difference in give, send, go, and there's a difference in GoFundMe. But it's like people just used to call computers IBM. People used to call copy machines Xerox, because those brands were omnipresent with that service. So people call these fundraisers GoFundMes when it may not be an actual GoFundMe. It's a give, send, go. But anyway, I like the term black fatigue way better. I think that describes what's going on with America right now and the culture. I think people are really fatigued with the culture. And I don't think that makes anybody a racist. It just means that we're tired, boss. So we're going to talk about that. Speaking of Shiloh Hendrix, they are trying to arrest this woman for calling that alleged 5-year-old autistic child, allegedly, of course, calling it the N-word. Apparently they want her to go to jail over this. We got some news clips from up there from a local news channel that I found pretty interesting last night. They're actually sending this to the prosecutor to see if there's charges to be filed. My Lord and Savior, Donald J. Trump, y'all's Lord and Savior as well, whether you want to admit it or not, especially Democrats, is going to sign an executive order this morning to lower prescription drug and pharmaceuticals in America by up to 80%. And we're doing it with the favored nations policy. We're going to talk about that. Also, Trump is hitting the ground running, man. Folks, in just 100 days, illegal crossings are at historic lows. He's calling Mexican cartels what they actually are, terrorist. This is what we voted for. A secure border. No more coddling of criminals. Mississippi, are you proud of what? I am. We're through coddling criminals. Whether it's Mexican cartels, white liberals, black for a living Democrats, we're coming for everybody. On the other side of this break, we'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. If you're watching on the live stream at SaveJXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble, you may see me wearing the throwback, the ECW shirt this morning. That ECW shirt is in honor of a wrestling legend that passed away. The inventor of the American Death Match was doing death matches before they even called them death matches. Sabu died over the weekend. Either you're familiar with him or you aren't. I'm not going to go into a long story about it, but he recently had his retirement match at like 60 years old. If not a little older than that, back over WrestleMania weekend. It was a shocker barbed wire death match in Vegas over WrestleMania weekend. So I got my old ECW shirt here. It is a retro throwback from a remake by a company I wear a lot of their shirt, Homage. A really cool shirt company, by the way. Y'all ought to go check them out. Sports shirts, pop culture stuff, really good fitting shirts. It's HOMAGE.com. You know, like you pay homage to something. Homage, HOMAGE.com. HOMAGE.com. Check out their shirts. They ain't cheap, but they're cool. They fit good. They're soft. They ain't them old square body classic tees. Golly, I tell you what, I love y'all. You know, y'all give me a lot of shirts. But I'm just gonna tell you straight up, if you got your company printed on or whatever you're trying to sell or give away on a classic tee, with them big old heavy square shirts, just give it to the next guy. I'm never gonna wear it. Never gonna wear it. I don't know how y'all wear them big old heavy things. Look like somebody took a brown paper bag, cut a hole in the top of it, and put it on somebody's head. Like you're wearing a box. Just don't make no sense to me. Now I get it, you 400 pounds. It is what it is, you know. But until I get back that big, I'm gonna avoid the classic tees. All right, man. This segment brought to you by our good friends over at, how about our friends at Men's Health in Mississippi, man? It's a Men's Health Monday. Have you taken your testosterone shot yet, guys? I know a bunch of Clay Edwards Show listeners take their testosterone shots. I've seen the numbers. I've seen how many of y'all have taken advantage of that promo code for that free testosterone screening, and I hope everybody else will jump on board too. If you haven't, get it scheduled for this week. What do you got to lose? Everything. That's right. If you didn't wake up with the morning wood this morning, you need to go get your testosterone checked. Text my name, Clay, to 601-327-8550. 601-327-8550. Some of the other symptoms that aren't quite as obvious. Are you fatigued? Decreased muscle tone? Lack of energy? Low libido? Brain fog? Sleep disturbances? You could be suffering from low T. Let Men's Health in Mississippi get you tested today. Absolutely free. Last time. Text Clay to 601-327-8550. No insurance required. As a matter of fact, they don't even take insurance. It's affordable enough that you don't need it. Don't ask me how I know. All right, let's jump into it, shall we? The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. The Mazda Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. Here's the deal. I want this phone to ring. Whoever calls in with the best call of the day, and I'm keeping track, I got something really cool we're going to give away. Now, I must have left them in the car. Either way, I've got about a dozen. Here they are. I got about a dozen of these. We're going to start giving them away. It is a certificate. It's like the Willy Wonka gold certificates. This will allow you to drive a Tesla Cybertruck for 24 hours. So if you're interested in an overnight test drive of a Tesla Cybertruck, now they're not a sponsor or nothing like that. I'm not telling you to buy one or anything. But if you just want to go drive a Tesla Cybertruck like I did for 24 hours, they don't allow everybody to do that. You got to know somebody. And luckily for y'all know somebody, me. I've got about a dozen of these things. I was going to use it as bait to get y'all to sign up for my Facebook subscription program, but Facebook decided to go into play-a-hater mode. So I said to heck with it. Let's give them away. So when we get to a topic that you find interesting enough to have a comment on, if you bring that heat and you had the best call of the day, you will be qualified. No, not qualified. You will, in fact, win one of these. And if I got 2 great phone calls, then maybe 2 people will win. The Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002, and I understand that that's quite the contradiction. The Mazda of Jackson phone line while giving away a certificate to go drive a vehicle somewhere else. Test drive a Tesla, go buy a Mazda. They got awesome vehicles. We'll tell you more about Mazda of Jackson here in a little bit. So write that number down, 601-879-0002. And if you bring that heat today, you will get to go test drive a Cybertruck or any other Tesla that you want to drive for 24 hours. But, I mean, the Cybertruck's it for me. After driving it for 24 hours the other day, that was so much fun. So much fun. All right, so, man, I ran my mouth a good bit there. It's really time for a break, but YOLO, we'll go over. Donald Trump, let's start here. Breaking news yesterday. Man, this is awesome. I even talked to Sean. I know they're going to talk about it on their show today. I'd be shocked if they don't. Crossing the aisle from noon to 1 right here at WYAB. Sean even loves this. The resident Democrat loves this. And he's got an emotional story. I'll let him tell his personal story about it if he wants to. But slashing these pharmaceutical prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals by 30 to 80% effective immediately after he signs that today, using the most favored nation policy, forcing Big Pharma to match the lowest global rates. I'm just going to read the whole thing. This is what Trump said on his Truth Social yesterday. I'm fired up about this. I really, really am. Because, a lot of people out there that can't afford insurance and having to duck and dodge and bob and weave and do everything and just hoping they don't get hurt. Anyway, here we go. This is from Trump yesterday on Truth Social. Quote, "For many years, the world has wondered why prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals in the United States of America were so much higher in price than they were in any other nation, sometimes being 5 to 10 times more expensive than the same drug manufactured in the exact same laboratory or the exact same plant by the exact same company. It was always difficult to explain and very embarrassing because, in fact, there was no correct or rightful answer. Pharmaceutical/drug companies would say for years that it was research and development costs and that all of these costs were and would be for no reason whatsoever borne by the, quote, suckers, unquote, of America alone." Saying suckers of America alone. I really wish he would run his stuff through AI and let it fix the grammar and punctuation. I do. It's no shame. Anyway, Trump says, "Campaign contributions can do wonders, but not with me and not with the Republican Party. We are going to do the right thing, something that the Democrats have fought for many years. Therefore, I am pleased to announce that tomorrow morning in the White House at 9 a.m., I will be signing one of the most consequential executive orders in our country's history." Man, I hope they keep in every available Secret Service agent in America around Trump right now. I will not be. I mean, I wouldn't eat nothing. I wouldn't drink nothing. I mean, they're going to try to kill him. Man, they are not going to let him sign this. There's no way. Continuing on, picking back up. Prescription drugs and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 30 to 80%. However, they will rise throughout the world in order to equalize and for the first time in many years bring fairness to America. I will be instituting a most favored nations policy whereby the United States will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price anywhere in the world. Our country will finally be treated fairly, and our citizens' healthcare costs will be reduced by numbers never even thought of before. Additionally, on top of everything else, the United States will save trillions and trillions of dollars. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Now, you know and I know, and I hadn't even looked on X yet, I'm sure there's a running pile of Democrats running right off a cliff somewhere talking about, but I like overpaying for my medicine. We're going to screw the little man somewhere else in the world. Anyway, let's take a call here on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, you're on there.
Hey, Clay.
Hey.
It's Smokey.
Hey.
Hey, just want to bring up the Judge Sotomayor this weekend, what she done and everything. Went to that meeting or something, the ABA or something like that, and was telling them, hey, they need to fight Trump in the courts, I guess.
But okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about here. Run this back. Start over with me. There was a meeting this morning. What now? Or this weekend?
No, there was a meeting this weekend, some kind of get together for the judges, and she was the guest speaker. And
Sotomayor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sotomayor was, and she brought up that hey, we need to fight against Trump. I guess it was, and came out with those words pretty much, and it's pretty interesting for a judge, especially a Supreme Court judge, to come out so biased, but we know she is,
Yeah, I missed that, but I'll go back and see if I can find it here during the break.
Oh, yeah.
And pull it up.
It was big news, yeah. Probably worth talking about.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that.
Brother.
Appreciate it, brother.
No problem.
Yeah, I missed that yesterday. But look, what do you guys think? We're going to take a break, come back. I want to peel this onion back a little bit. Prescription drug costs coming down 30 to 80% pretty much immediately. I love it. Democrats have been running on this forever. Trump just got it done, or about to get it done. We'll see if I can't find some reactions from Democrats. Caller, stay on hold. We'll come back to you. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, here live on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our good friends over at, how about my friends right there at UrgeVet, right in Madison. Guys, pet emergencies don't wait. Why should you? UrgeVet, Emergency Vets of Madison, offers low wait times and cutting-edge technology to provide fast, expert care for all household pets. Located at 15 Olympic Way, their hours of operation are weeknights 5 p.m. to 8 a.m., and, of course, 24 hours on weekends and holidays. Give them a call today at 601-790-1918 or follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Because when it comes to your pet's health, trust the team that's fast, reliable, and compassionate. Other quick facts, UrgeVet, they've been open for over 5 years now. Founded by local vet Dr. Spencer Mills. The general manager is Miss Melissa Calmes. It's a state-of-the-art veterinary clinic. They're fast, reliable, open all major holidays, after hours, urgent, and emergency care for all household pets. That's UrgeVet, located right out there in Madison. All right, man, let's go to the Mazda Jackson phone line. We got Miss Angela Buckner with the Mike magazine on. Miss Angela, how are you?
Good morning, Clay. Listen, the only thing I can think of is this. The Democrats had a missed opportunity. Why did it take this long for a president to say, you know what, we are going to do right by the average people? Why did it take Trump coming in to do this? And another thing, you made a post yesterday, I think it was, hey, we got a big announcement. I said, oh, my God, I think they're probably going to send all the African Americans back to Africa and pay us to go back. I don't know what is next. And then now I'm wondering if Luigi Mangione is about to be set free. It's either that, the blacks are going back to Africa, or Mangione is going to be set free. I don't know.
Well, it was the healthcare stuff.
Oh, okay. See, my mind just get a little extreme sometimes.
I was hoping for the last option that I wrote down, that we were sending all the white liberals over to Ukraine to form Operation Human Shield. That would end about 90% of the BS over here. I mean, it's the white liberals that keep the racists. They're the straw that stirs the drink of racism, keeping everybody fired up at each other while they sit over there and virtue signal.
Hey, and they sit back and fold their hands and pay attention, It's almost like a show for them. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say. The Democrats missed that opportunity. I wish Joe Biden would have done this long ago, suggested that this is what we do. But I imagine when you're friends or you go golfing with these people, and they're going to be upset with Trump, because I know he goes golfing with some of these people, right? Mm-hmm. And he's probably going to have to lay low in a bunker somewhere after this, because they are going to be pissed.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And it's time. It's been beyond time. Speaking of opportunities Democrats let slip, that I'm going to be curious what Trump does on this, because he's just breaking rules when necessary, and I love it. Nobody outside of people who directly profit from pharmaceutical investments, nobody should complain about this. And here's the other, and I think honestly, sometimes when you lower the price and you create access to a product, your profits actually rise, because now people who have not been taking certain pharmaceuticals because they couldn't afford it, and these aren't always just life-saving things that people have to take. There are other things too, quality of life medications that people just they've been avoiding taking because they couldn't afford it. Well, now if they can afford it, you open up a whole new market of customers. So we'll see. But the other thing, speaking of things Democrats left on the table, and I really thought, if nothing else, that we would come out of a Joe Biden administration with the decriminalization of marijuana on a federal level. And I think that will be. I don't think we'll get it early. I think we may save it to the midterms, because it is a very big. It is something to run on. It's a big deal. But I think if Trump gets unpopular in some areas, I think that's going to be the carrot that they drop out there. And I think it would be foolish not to do it. And let it go to the states. Let the states decide what they want to do with it. Decriminalize it federally, and let states do what states do. And we'll see what happens. But I expect that. I'm kind of calling it now. Trump will decriminalize marijuana federally before this term is over.
Do you think the stock markets would soar if they did that? If he did that?
I don't know. I don't want to sit here and pretend that I know about stuff like that. I don't know. I guess some of these, if you can put weed on the, I guess weed could become publicly traded. Then, if it's not federally illegal, is it? I don't know now. Are there medical marijuana companies that are on the ticker? I don't know. They can't do banking and stuff. So I'm assuming they can't be a part of the stock. We can find out. I'm going to be interviewing some folks here soon that are big time in that business. So I'll ask some of those questions.
But, Clay, I've been saying the same thing that you just said. There once was a time where alcohol was prohibited, about the prohibition and everything. But once you make it legal, listen, I don't drink, okay? We drink Welch's grape juice for a special occasion. But just because it's available doesn't mean that I want to use it, right? And so I believe the same way you do. And also the prisons are overcrowded with people who had a little weed on them, and we got to be real about it. And the drug that's taking over now is meth. And then you got other drugs that's bleeding over into the black community. You know, they used to say, oh, that he's on meth. You can look at him, it's a white guy. But no, black people are on it now. And the thing about it, marijuana has so many medicinal benefits, is what people are saying. My daughter is even studying it right now in her program, her PhD program. But the thing is, you know, the sooner the better, and it will make his numbers go up in the polls. At least that's what I think.
I mean,
but anyway.
I agree. And look, and hey, and I'm not a consumer of it, but I am a consumer of capitalism and personal choice. And let people make the state's power.
Let the people decide.
Let the states decide.
That's right.
All right.
Let the states decide, and let the people decide if they want to go to the store and purchase that stuff. That's on them. I don't want it.
Thank you, Miss Angela.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, Miss Angela, in the running for that 24-hour test drive from Tesla. Hey, look, we got to get back our ballot initiative here in Mississippi. I know some of y'all are probably beating the steering wheel, screaming ballot initiative right now. When I talk about let it go back to the states, 100%. And I'm gonna tell you who is to blame for us not having a ballot initiative right now. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly who to blame. Who's to blame? Y'all are pointing your venom at the wrong people. You got to point the finger in the mirror. We are to blame. Well, not me directly, but the people who fought for abortion to be outlawed 100% and to have all those trigger laws kick in. That is the reason the ballot initiative has gone away, because they were afraid if the ballot initiative returns that enough money would come into the state to convince people that we need abortion in Mississippi, and they do not want that egg on their face. So you got to decide. Do you want your ballot initiative, or do you want to keep abortion illegal? Do you trust that Mississippians would vote it down given the opportunity? That's a big old conversation to open up right there. I'm not sure that we want to do that on a Monday morning, but that's why there's no ballot initiative. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules when absolutely necessary. That's every day around here. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We got about a minute before the top of the hour break. When we come back, phone lines will be wide open. Mazda of Jackson, 601-879-0002. Talking about the Trump healthcare executive order, bringing it down 30 to 80%. Do you have a story you want to share about how this is going to affect you or a loved one? I've gotten several great texts from listeners that we can read when we come back. Also, black fatigue. It's a very popular phrase that's taken over the internet over the weekend. A couple powerful videos out there from black folks explaining why other folks is tired of a certain segment of black folks. Really interesting conversation, a little battle going on within the black culture that we're going to bring to light for you guys. That and more. We'll be right back. Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO right here in Central Mississippi. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live and stunning HD across Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. Whether you're holding me in your hand, that sounded a little strange, or you're watching me on your big screen, or your flat screen on your desk, this is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. Happy to be here with you this morning on a Monday in Mississippi. It's a Men's Health Monday. Guys, take advantage of those complimentary testosterone screenings. They do other stuff too. And the blood work that they do, they're checking for all sorts of stuff. Maybe you'll find something wrong that you didn't know was wrong beyond a low testosterone count. One more time, text Clay to 601-327-8550. Also, real quick, Lakeland Glass and Tint. Give them a call today for all of your window tinting needs, whether it's your home, your car, or your business. Maybe you need a windshield in your vehicle. You know, I'm so stupid. I got that brand new truck. I got a rot pick, and I did not get into Lakeland Glass and let them fix it in time because it was raining one day and they can't do the leak, the crack stop if it's raining outside. And now I have a crack going across my windshield in my new truck that I just got the windshield tinted on too, by the way. But hey, nobody to blame but myself. I should have made time to do it. I didn't. Don't be like Clay. You got a rot pick, go get it fixed. They do that at Lakeland Glass and Tint. No appointment necessary. They got 3 great locations to serve you. Every location does something a little different. So just start at LakelandGlassandTint.com and let them point you in the right direction. And of course, they also do ceramic coating on your vehicle for the ultimate in clear coat protection, as well as vehicle wraps and more. Lakeland Glass and Tint. Hey, you know what would be cool is, everybody loves these RTIC or whatever, and these Yeti coolers and stuff like that. What if you got one? What if you got one? I can't talk this morning. The sinus infection's got me all out of whack. Contrary to Texas J, it is not crack. This is not the effects of crack or meth. This is the effects of a sinus infection. Anyway, having a little fun this morning. Man, get a cooler wrapped with your business logo or just your favorite logo. Like, I don't know, the Clay Edwards Show. That would be kind of cool. Maybe my FAFO logo. That'd be even cooler. They can do all that for you on your cooler at Lakeland Glass and Tint. All right. Black fatigue. It's a real thing. And black people are telling us this. They've co-signed on it, so it's okay for us to talk about it. That's the rule, right? Kim Wade even sent me this, I'm pretty sure. So I have permission from the Barbecue Association to talk about this. So we're going to play this video. This fella's name is Damani, D-A-M-A-N-I Felder. He says, a lot of people have black fatigue, and not all of them are white people. Let me explain. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to let him explain right here, right now.
Black fatigue. This video might make you uncomfortable, but it needs to be made. There's a growing sentiment, most recently, of individuals who are proclaiming they do have black fatigue. And you don't have to be a non-black person to have black fatigue. What does that phrase actually mean? Essentially, black fatigue is a growing weariness of the actions of the quote-unquote black community. But it goes deeper than that because we are in 2025 now, and we are being judged based on the content of our character and not the color of our skin. But the interesting part is the lie that's been sold to the black community in particular is that the color of our skin dictates the content of our character. That's why in the black community, sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, you are acting white when they're talking to someone like myself who doesn't act the way most people would expect a conventional black person to act. In their minds, there is a correct way to act black. And the people in your ethnic group who fulfill those very negative stereotypes, those are the ones who are going to essentially drag down the collective whole. And that's why there's individuals who are black who do and can have black fatigue, because they see how damaging it is to see the worst of us attract all this negative attention that then unfortunately gets ascribed to the entire race all too often. But what's unfortunate is here in 2025, now we have to contend with the fact that there's people who are so sick and tired of seeing those negative aspects, those negative individuals in the black community attracting all this attention. That's what is spurring this black fatigue. I think it's something that needs to be talked about. And until we turn inward and address the issues in our own communities, I fear that this is only going to continue and get worse. And that's exactly what the powers that be want. They want to have us against each other instead of us against those who are really pulling the strings in the background.
All right, so what do you guys think about that? There's several other good videos on this topic, but unfortunately, they got a lot of cuss words in them, and we can't play that on the radio, and I don't have the energy or the wherewithal to constantly be hitting the mute button over here. But I'm curious. I mean, do you understand what he means by black fatigue? Sorry, the online audience said they couldn't hear it. You know, guys, that's been a recurring theme. Y'all told me you couldn't hear it one way last week. I changed it this way. So at the end of the day, this is a radio show, not an online show. I'll try to play it for y'all during the break. So the online is just an addition to what we do here. Like I say, first and foremost, we got to make sure the radio folks hear it because this is a radio show. Anybody can have a podcast. Anybody can have a live stream. Everybody can't have the number one rated radio show in the market in the mornings. Humble brag. Humble brag. Stay humble, my friends. Let me just lay it out for you, for those that didn't hear. That was a well-spoken, clean-cut, normal black dude. You know, guy next door. Not about the culture. Not feeling like he has to live up to urban expectations. Doesn't look like a quote-unquote ghetto hero. Does not appear to be a rapper or a drug dealer. Most likely does not drive a Dodge Charger or Challenger or Nissan Altima. Just doesn't come across like that. Looks like his pants fit. His pants definitely fit. He probably hasn't bought a rap album since Sir Mix-a-Lot's Chief Bootknocker. You know, just a normal dude, just one of us. The guy that sits around, probably don't even like his chicken fried hard. Oh, that was a shot across the bow, wasn't it? That was a shot across the bow. I bet he likes his steak rare. Oh, low blow, Clay. Low blow, Clay. That was an ECW level low blow right there. That's what it is, man. That was just the phrase black fatigue. I'm way more comfortable with that than I am y'all deciding that we're racist because we're tired of putting up with this crap. I shared a photo over the weekend of a lady. It's on my Facebook page and my Instagram. And it was up in Jackson, Tennessee. Some black women in their shower caps and pajamas and all that. Not fit to be out in public. You know, and that's something else. Well, let me finish this and I'll say that. The couple black women, 3 or 4 of them, having an absolute brawl at the entrance of a Kroger. Hold on. A Kroger's up in Jackson, Tennessee. And there's this one white guy who's just standing there with his hand on his hip, just disgusted. Just, ugh, what are you people doing? Culture rot. Like, just culture rot on his face. You could just say he was just disgusted with it. He's like, how far do I have to move to get away from this? You know, Jackson, Tennessee ain't like Jackson, Mississippi. You know, he's like, how far do I have to move to get away from the Section 8? I just have to start growing my own foods, slaughtering my own cows, just completely living off the land to get away from Section 8. That was the look on his face. Then there was a woman, an older white lady, walking out the building with this look on her face of what my quote was, if tired of the culture was a picture, this would be it. I mean, just people are tired. People are exhausted with it. I remember during the summer of love, the George Floyd summer of love and peace and murder. One of the things black for a living Democrats, especially black women, angry black women, kept saying was they were just tired. I'm just tired. I'm exhausted. Referring to dealing with racism in America. And now we've come full circle the other direction, and we're just tired. We's exhausted with this, with the perpetual self-inflicted victimhood, with the oppression Olympics, with all of your problems being because of somebody else and never of your own making. I asked Grok AI last night to define black fatigue for me. And it tried to give the other version of the black folks being tired of racism version. I said, no, Grok, that's the wrong one. That's not the black fatigue I was asking about. And as my Grok gets to know me, let's see here, it got the answer much more correct. Unfortunately, it's not showing where it saved it there, but I did copy and paste a portion of it because that's what I do. That's what I do. Let's see here. Yep. It says, black fatigue, which describes the frustration often voiced in conservative circles over the perceived overuse of racial narratives or woke policies, which some argue exhaust constructive dialogue and fuels division. Ding, ding, dong. Exhaust constructive dialogue and fuels division. If y'all ain't using AI, I don't know what you're doing with yourselves. At least if it's going to kill me, I'm going to know why. If it's going to replace my job, I'm going to understand why it did it. And that's what it is. Margaritas, the brawl that happened there last Friday night. The reaction from everybody, just paint me shocked. Black fatigue. What I really want to call it, because I don't want to offend all black folks here. Because that's like, y'all know I'm not talking to y'all. You know, folks that ain't out doing this stuff, folks that aren't defending the people that's doing it, we're not talking to y'all. I don't even know that I like the term black fatigue. I prefer to call it culture fatigue. People that feel like that there's this expectation of living up to some black culture phenomenon that says you have to be a thug, that you have to support Pookie, you know, that you can never outgrow sagging your pants and wearing flat bill hats and thinking you're a drug dealer or an aspiring rapper, that you can outgrow blaming all of your problems on other people. You know, there's a huge group of people out there that ain't about that. That ain't about that culture. And I hope y'all know we're not talking to y'all. Hell, I think, based on the fact that that video was of a black guy, I believe that y'all are tired of the culture as well. Can we just get back to American culture of meritocracy and equality and desegregation? I mean, so many of y'all have resegregated yourselves. It's crazy. Like, I didn't move away from black people. I moved away from trash. I think I still live around just as many black people as I did in Jackson. None of the problems. It tells me it's not a black problem. It's a cultural problem. There's people that don't want to be a part of the culture because the culture is trash and it's rotten and it's time for something to be done about it. That's why you created Shiloh Hendrix. The whole Shiloh Hendrix thing, the N-word mama deal, for those that don't know the name, that was the inevitable end of this conversation, of this whole thing. It was going to work its way to something that extreme. The pendulum always swings back harder. I would have had no idea that it would have swung back as quick as it did and as hard, as swiftly as it did. And the irony that it was on Give, Send, Go is even a little sweeter. You know, conservatives, I swear, sometimes y'all will cut your noses off to spite your faces. Give, Send, Go was put in place now, I don't know exactly when it was created, but it rose to infamy during the Kyle Rittenhouse deal, where he couldn't raise money for his defense on GoFundMe. So Give, Send, Go allowed him to do it there, or it was created because of that. I can't remember exactly, but Kyle Rittenhouse was a big part of it. And we loved it then. We loved, oh yeah, man, Kyle Rittenhouse getting to raise that money, because he was in the right killing those people. That was self-defense. He should be able to raise money for that. And the jury agreed. Well, we loved that. But then when Carmelo Anthony, as disgusting as it was, and as one-sided as it looks, as clear-cut that this looks like a homicide for no reason, the family still has the right, whether I like it or not, to raise money. And everybody on the right wanted Give, Send, Go to kill the fundraiser. And look, I got on here and said it was disgusting, but I thought they should be able to do it. Because one day it's going to flip, and we're going to want to be able to raise money for someone that the left doesn't like. Now, I do not agree with the Shiloh Hendricks stuff. I don't think anybody should be sending her money, but I also don't think y'all should be sending money to Carmelo Anthony. But you have the right to send your money wherever you so choose. And don't get me wrong. While I would not send any money to Shiloh Hendricks, I am laughing my butt off about it because it was the inevitable pendulum swing. It was the destination when the pendulum swung back. It was going to swing back to the extreme. And I have to say, I have enjoyed the meltdown from the culture folks over it, because the power of that word is being lost. And it reminds me of the power of the word of calling somebody a racist when they lost that because they overused it and overplayed it. And now nobody cares if they get called a racist. It doesn't mean anything anymore. It's like a Nazi. It's okay. I mean, when everybody's a Nazi, nobody's a Nazi. That makes sense for y'all? When everybody's a Nazi, nobody's a Nazi. When everybody's a racist, nobody's a racist. But now the left was trying to get the Shiloh Hendricks fundraiser, Give, Send, Go taken down. I mean, they are losing their minds over it. That fat white dude, Tizzy, that makes all these videos exposing white people for stuff. He's shook over it. Now, there's one, they're trying to get the credit card processing companies to not take their processing and all of that. But they're going to cut off their nose to spite their face because, see, they were just able to raise money for Carmelo on the same platform. But now, hold on. Somebody using the N-word is way worse than a white woman calling a black child the N-word is 100 times worse than a black kid killing a white kid because the black kid was where he wasn't supposed to be and was asked to move. But in their smooth brains, they truly believe that what Shiloh Hendricks did was 100 times worse than what Carmelo Anthony did. But if they're successful in getting Give, Send, Go defunded, so to say, where they can't process payments, they will in fact have eliminated the one platform that allowed them to raise money for criminals. Because GoFundMe doesn't allow it either. But those are the people we're dealing with. They play chess. We play checkers. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, here live on WYAB. During the break there, I was able to let the online audience listen to that video, so everybody's caught up now. So what I want to say is I am opening the phone lines, the Mazda Jackson phone line. I would like to get everybody's thoughts on that. now that the online audience has all heard it, on this concept of black fatigue. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? What is wrong about it? What is right about it? 601-879-0002. The caller of the day is going to win a certificate to test drive a Tesla Cybertruck or any other Tesla for 24 hours. I choose the winner. Bring your best. You ain't got to agree with me either, by the way. People who have disagreed with me win things too. I'm an equal opportunity hater here. Let's go to real quick. I know y'all hear the Jamie Creel commercials from Shelter Insurance. Jamie's been on the show before. He's going to be on the show again. We are now proud partners with Shelter Insurance. Jamie Creel, we'll be telling you more about him. But he's legitimately my insurance agent. So I can't co-sign a sponsor any more than that. He's located right below the radio station here in Flora, Mississippi, out at the Cotton Exchange Plaza. They also have an office there on 51 in Ridgeland, over by Fleet Feet and all that. That little shopping center there. Stop in, see him, see some of his team, some of his agents, and let him get you rolling. Man, I was using, before I wrecked my car, I just had one of those online insurance companies, and I had full intentions on changing to Shelter Insurance and Jamie Creel, and it just been dragging my feet because, I already got insurance, whatever. Guys, he saved me legit real money. Like real money. Got much better coverage. My renter's insurance got cut in half. My truck insurance, though I doubled the value of the vehicle almost, my insurance got cheaper. Look, I can go on and on about why you need to have a local insurance agent, whether it's home, business, auto, Jamie Creel, Shelter Insurance. They got you covered. You can Google the information for contact. I'll get all that. I'll have a little bit better notes for y'all by tomorrow. But I wanted to make sure we welcome Jamie Creel, Shelter Insurance agent, right out here in Flora and Ridgeland, officially to the Clay Edwards Show as a partner. Super excited to have them on board. It's very easy to sell y'all on something that I use myself. That's the best cosign I can give. It's like these mechanic shops that sponsor this show. I send my family's vehicles to them. That's the A1 Gear and Auto, Ellis Autoplex. That's the best cosign I can give, is using them myself. And I was using some of these folks before they were sponsors. All right. Let's read some of your comments in the online world. Man, we got a nice streaming audience this morning. Thank you, guys. Barbershop Bob says, detox with ginger DeClue is another one to check out. Is that a streamer or something? James, watching on Facebook, says, everyone black gets pushed into the pile, and they shouldn't. That is the one thing I don't like about using the term black for this, is I think way too many black folks get shoved into this that have nothing to do with it. But I think that's why this black fatigue comment was birthed in black conservative Twitter sphere, or whatever you want to call it. Because they want to jump out in front of this and say, look, we know y'all are tired. We're tired of it. I mean, we all know what exactly which segment of it everybody's tired of. It's that word that nobody's allowed to say that ain't black. It's that word. That's the segment that everybody's tired of. They'll tell you. I mean, what they got a name. They've got a new nickname for them. Because I can't believe I'm saying these things this morning, but even the worst of that demographic has a nickname for the worser of that demographic. Nowadays, the young version, I think they call them YNs. That's what they say. Don't get mad at me. But I mean, I said some of the most grizzled gangsters, thugs that I follow online talk about the younger generation being out of control. That's where most all this crap's coming from. Them and their mamas, of course. Because nobody's allowed to discipline their kids without a fight. They're not disciplining them. They're not allowing teachers to discipline them. They don't want police disciplining them. So you got these people who have gone through life without any disciplining. Sean Tyndall said it really, really well when Capitol Police took over Jackson. They did a town hall for Stokes. And Commissioner Sean Tyndall said, you got an entire generation of Jacksonians who ain't never been policed. And man, he hit the nail on head. There's an entire generation of Jacksonians, they ain't never been policed. Not really. Unless they effed around across that river, across County Line Road. But in Jackson, last 20 years, there ain't been no real policing till Capitol Police showed up. I mean, you got pockets of good JPD, don't get me wrong. But they did all they could to run them off. Barney, Fox. I mean, they tried locking them up in jail for doing their jobs. In prison. Texas Jay says the so-called black community went down when Reagan flooded our community with drugs and guns, or guns and drugs. No, it went down when they gave y'all welfare. And they incentivized the father being out of the home. Anything that happened in all the stuff about crack and Rick Ross and all that stuff, that's just icing on the cake. And don't get me wrong, I believe that happened. I also believe you didn't have to smoke the crack. You didn't have to say yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, some self-control. I mean, I understand it's hard. I get it, but I'm just saying. I never smoked crack because I could look at a crackhead and say, I don't want to do that. I ain't never seen a successful recreational crack smoker. No, I just smoke it on the weekends. You never seen a recreational crack smoker. It's either all or nothing. It's they're a successful human being, or they're a crackhead pushing all their belongings in a grocery cart up and down Highway 80. There's rarely any in between that I've seen, unless they just got a whole lot of money and they just ain't ran out of it yet. They get that help before the bank account hits zero. But they're all heading in the same direction. I mean, they ain't really no recreational meth smokers either. But I see more people pull themselves out of that than I see people pull themselves out of crack. A whole nother conversation for another day, though. So, Texas Jay, I'm not completely disagreeing with you, but I think the damage was done by Lyndon B. Johnson. I mean, there's a reason why, and in the South, we can get away with having this conversation a little more openly. Here, because we don't have a high Jewish population. But, I hate saying, I'm trying to be delicate about what I'm about to say. I believe, based on everything I've seen and read, now it may just be coincidence, but a lot of people in the music industry, in the movie industry, do happen to be Jewish. And a lot of those very people did, in fact, dictate what the culture became through the type of music and movies and whatnot they wanted to popularize. And when you dangle a carrot in front of somebody that's never had anything, and we're using the black community for this story here, because this is who it happened to. You know, they come in, they say, we're going to make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. We're going to make you famous. We're going to do all these things. But here's the image we want you to portray. You're going to be a gangster. You're going to be, we're going to, a black mobster for the modern era, basically. We're going to sensationalize this image and this lifestyle. And we're going to push this into mainstream America. I mean, Dr. Dre was doing show tunes before he was Dr. Dre. He went from dressing up, looking all gay, doing theater and stuff. Da 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 da. To Straight Outta Compton. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here on WYAB. This segment brought to you by Burgers, Blues, Barbecue. Flowwood, Mississippi, right there at Dogwood, is their third location. It's their newest. It's been open a little over a year now. Guys, if you have not been by there yet, swing by, check it out. They got a really cool patio and bar. It meets up and has a garage door that opens up and closes down on it. So when it's cold outside, you can close it off. When it's warm, you can open it up. It's really neat. It's kind of a horseshoe shape. Really cool how they did it there. So you can it's half inside, half outside. Really, really love how they did that there. I think it's the coolest of the three locations. Of course, they got downtown Brandon right there by my crib, and they've got Madison right there on Main Street. And they've all got a patio. It's just kind of their thing. They've been famous for their patios since the OG location on County Line that's no longer there. But swing by, check them out for lunch today. The Blue Plate Special is red beans and rice with sausage, hamburger steak, and the alternating meat today is a chicken fried chicken. That's basically country fried steak, but chicken. It's fried chicken breast with gravy. You can even get it fried hard per order if you so choose. Hey, but look, don't forget, they're famous for their burgers. Try one of their burgers. The monthly special is the fried chicken honey sriracha sliders. Just try it. That's all I got to say. Just try them. You will not regret it. Oh, so good. I'm pretty sure it's on a Hawaiian roll, too, but don't quote me on that. I had them the other day. I don't remember what kind of roll it was on, but it was on a slider bun, and it's a piece of hand-battered fried chicken rolled in honey sriracha sauce and served as a slider with your choice of french fries or fresh-made, in-kitchen potato chips. Have y'all ever had, like, really fresh-cooked, fresh-sliced homemade potato chips? They are fine. Get that with some comeback sauce to dip them in. There at Burgers, Blues, Barbecue. You will not regret it. I see my guest for hour 3 rolling up. I see that blue Porsche with those copper wheels getting ready to pull in. That's Walker Pearson. He's our guest for one of our guests for Heavy Hitters coming up next. That's right. There's a third hour every Monday, but it's a little bit different than the traditional Clay Edwards show. We're interviewing outlaw entrepreneurs, guys that have blazed their own path, done it their way, and found success and millions, or on their way to millions, doing so. We're going to hopefully spur a little motivation and inspiration for you guys this morning, hearing these guys' stories. Corbin Allen and Walker Pearson will be joining me at 9:07 this morning for an hour. All right, let's button this show up today. What did we not hit that I wanted to hit? We pretty much putting a button on the Shiloh Hendricks thing. She's the girl that got caught on tape calling an alleged 5-year-old black kid the N-word at a playground. Rochester Police Department has been doing some digging, and they have now sent this case to a prosecutor. Nobody knows if charges will stick. Hendricks claims the kid stole from her, and then she rakes in about $700,000 for protection, while the NAACP pulled in about $341,000 for the kid's family. The alleged pedophile that was there at the park filming all this has raised about $50,000 himself for protection. It seems like everybody got paid on this. I mean, if you're out there right now and you could take the smoke, it seems like a good retirement plan to go find You know, I'm talking to my white folks out there and my black folks. Maybe y'all should team up. Because there are some people saying this whole thing was rigged and it's a psyop for them to all get rich. And you know what? I'm starting to believe it. But either way, that may be a good retirement plan. Just go find some random, you try that in the South, man. You go up to some black mom with her kid at the park and you call her kid the N-word. The only GoFundMe you getting is one for your funeral. And there's going to be like shirts airbrushed of you with wings and all kind of stuff. Like we make fun of these future rocket scientists and all that. I know these Southern women. That ain't playing down here. You ain't doing that in the South. We disagree on a lot. That ain't happening. That ain't happening down here. I reversed my opinion. That is not a solid retirement plan down here. It will get you killed. I mean, don't you watch the news? They kill each other. These women are crazy down here. Didn't you see that video I posted from Margaritas the other day? That was all women fighting them bouncers. And bouncer was fighting for his life up in there. Fighting for his life, son. Abort mission. Abort mission. We'll be right back to land the plane for the day. Y'all don't go nowhere. Online audience, stick with me for a minute. Radio, we'll be right back. That make this show what it is. That make me enjoy doing this show still. I've changed the way I'm doing my show prep, and it's making for a better show on my end anyway. I'm enjoying it more. I swapped it up Thursday, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday have seen a new way of doing show prep. Hope y'all enjoy it. The online numbers are bigger. The show is growing as it goes. I think what we'll do is I had planned on just starting a new stream for the other show. I think I'll just keep this stream going. There's no point in starting over this week. But next week we'll start new. And if y'all want to stick around for a third hour, it's going to be a completely different show. But I may change my mind. I don't know. I'll tell you what. Let's keep the shows separate. They're completely different shows. I don't want to blend my chaotic content in with the business content. So we'll split it up. But all you got to do is go log right back into wherever you're at, and it'll be the new show starting at 9:07. I've already got it scheduled on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. Same channels. I just want to keep the shows separate. I want to keep the content separate. I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in today. Nobody won the Tesla test drive. 24 hours in a Cybertruck. Are people that scared to talk on the phone nowadays? I don't like talking on the phone either. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow, or I'll see y'all back here in about 10 minutes for Heavy Hitters, the Outlaw Entrepreneur Show, right here on 103.9 FM WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show as we land the plane for the day. Shout out to my buddies in law enforcement that are listening to the Clay Edwards Show with a couple future rocket scientists, engineers, and possibly even astronauts in the back of the transport vehicle with them right now. Now, I can't say who it is, and I can't say where they're going because I don't want to get them in trouble. But you know who you are. Shout out to the guys wearing the orange in the back. I wonder if any of y'all was the FAFO champions. If not, you can be. Start acting right. I love it. I got a direct line to some future astronauts here on the radio. Makes it all worth it. Y'all stay tuned in. Heavy Hitters, the Outlaw Entrepreneur Show, up next on WYAB.